Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Morgan, you had a point you wanted to make?
Yes, sir. And as it applies to our agenda for tonight, our letter C, the wastewater presentation from Banning Engineering. They've asked that we put that on hold until the next meeting, which we've agreed to.
Okay. Item C has been postponed.
The item number C has been postponed. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, approval of the minutes. Any additions, corrections, deletions?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Okay, those would be the minutes of August 29th, or August 19th, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, and I have a motion to approve the minutes of August 19th. Do I have a second? Second. Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the minutes signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? All right. We're on to our public meeting. The first item is ordinance 29, 2019, Police Merit Board.
Mr. President, I bring before you ordinance number 29-2019. This is an ordinance establishing a merit system for the town of Danville's Police Department. It comes for you tonight for a first reading. In the council meeting room with us tonight is our representative from Taft Law who drafted this, Caitlin Voller. So, no worries. So again, this comes before you for a first reading. I know we can suspend the rules, but given the brevity of this, I thought it would be best that it go for first read because there are some issues we needed to discuss on page 2, which was the per diem to be paid. So if this is an ordinance you wish to introduce and you want to establish the either a per diem or they will not receive a per diem, that can be established. And then we can come back in 2 weeks with the final draft and for your approval.
Okay. We just let this stand as introduced? I believe we should. I'm not ready to put on the first read, especially since we have that question. What I would like the council to do is take a look at that second page, decide if a per diem shall be paid. The customary amount was 75. Is that correct, Jenny?
Correct.
Okay. And then one other question I had dealt with on the bottom of page 3, a safety board. I just need clarification on that.
You are the safety board. Is that correct, Caitlin? They are the safety board?
I would like double check before our next meeting. Perfect. Okay. So ordinance 29 stands as introduced. Ordinance 30.
Ordinance number 30-2019.
Can we talk about this a minute? Can I ask a question, clarity question, since I asked it?
There you go.
Okay. I noticed on page 2, item number B, we reference each commissioner must be at least 21 years of age, good moral character. My question is, shouldn't we define what that means, a good moral character? Or should there be some sort of flavor so that we can tell what the taint or untaint is?
When I was asked the question, and Caitlin can maybe expound upon it, these are not our words. These are words provided by the state of Indiana through Indiana statute.
That's correct.
So,
Do they define that
They
statement?
do
then?
not. There,
please,
somebody had said last time.
thank you.
Yes.
Yes, so looking at the statute, all these requirements are we are taking them exactly from the statute. So I can see it right here. In the first part of the statute, the requirement is that it's a person of good moral character. They do not define it. I would say you could possibly look to some cases to see if it's been defined. I can tell you now that's probably definitely not the case. It has probably not come up or ever been an issue that a court has decided whether someone was of good moral character. I think it's more just out there to a general requirement that hasn't really been litigated or enforced.
We could probably all come up with some basic rules. No felony, any convictions.
No police reports?
And I think if I'm correct, there's actually vision about being a felon, but I think it's not about the commissioners. That's like about
Officer.
an officer. Yeah. So, I think that's always a good start. A felon.
Down to it. There's-
Well, that's a pretty broad statement, but it's very narrow in the concept, depending on the person who's looking at it, creating the definition in your mind. What's a good moral character, not a good moral character. So should we do something in here to help clear that up so that we don't have unnecessary hassling, possibly created because of that lack of definition?
Or is it possible that the more definition we put on it, the more we paint ourselves into a box or into a corner, and then I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm more of the opinion that we need to leave it a little bit more general because the nature of who will be choosing a person of good moral character is going to change council from year to year. What was considered moral 50, 60 years ago, today, what's normal today may be immoral 10 years from now. Yeah.
I would agree with that. I mean, I think the best idea is to always just go by exactly the way the statute lays it out, and then if you start getting away from that, it gets a little more complicated. I do understand the issues with it, so it's definitely up to you all. I know there's different ways to interpret good moral character, but I don't think there's anything I could say that the courts have done that would be helpful in that. It's just kind of a policy decision you guys have to make. I can look into it a little more to see if there is something out there, but I can tell you right now, there's probably not.
You've got 3 different bodies that are going to make this, who's on that board. You've got 2 from the council president, 1 from ourselves, and 2 from the governing bodies, the police, fire membership, if pass these. I mean, what constitutes good moral character for the firefighters might be different for us.
Really?
Could be.
That's a very valid point too, is that,
No offense.
No, not taken.
no, I see what you mean. I mean, then if you start writing those things into the ordinance, it might create more problems than it solves.
Anything else? Any other points? Okay, it's been introduced.
Thank you. The next,
I'll come back if there's
yes, ma'am, thank you. Next is ordinance 30-2019. This is an ordinance establishing a merit system for the town of Danville's fire department. Again, this comes before you for a first read. This has the same question on page 2, posed whether this will be these will be paid commissioners.
My apologies.
If these will be paid commissioners or if there'll be no pay received. So whatever the council's wishes are will be fine with us.
And we can discuss this. I'll accept this as introduced. And we will have 2 weeks to throw our questions out there and then discuss it on the 16th.
That's all I have before the council tonight.
All right. Item C is off the list. That brings us right around to public comment. Anything from the public tonight? Hi, your name and what do you do?
Steve Carter. I work with U.S. Senator Mike Braun. I won't take the full 3 minutes, maybe about 1 minute. I'm just here to introduce myself as representative of the office and also convey a couple things from Mike Braun. He wanted me to thank you for your service in local government. He has been a U.S. Senator since January, but prior to that, his experience in government was a couple years in the state legislature, but most of his time experience in government was at the local level with the local school board. So he knows it's the kind of service that when you're at church or you're at a restaurant, you're likely to be have people present issues to you, and he appreciates your willingness to take on this service on behalf of the community. Sometimes it's a thankless task, but I think he's seen enough of the dysfunction in Washington over the past few months to appreciate again the service that people do at the local level. So thank you for that. The second point is we do want to be available to you if you have issues with federal agencies, which we hope you don't have any, but if you do, we want you to feel comfortable reaching out to us, and we'll try to be as helpful as we can. I know I met with your president a few months ago, and I know you've got growing community infrastructure issues, and sometimes, often it involves the state government, but sometimes it may involve the federal government, so feel free to reach out to us. I think I got my business card distributed there to everybody, so feel free to take advantage of that.
Will you be hanging around after this meeting?
Well, I'll try not to hang around and be a pest, but if
I would
you
like
need something, I'll be here. Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
And I will commend you on how quickly you handle your council meetings. I've been a few that last a little bit longer.
This
than
was a long one.
So, okay, well, I'm past my minute, so I'll let you go. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, anyone else? Okay, around the horn. Skipped it last time.
I have nothing.
Anyone? Rob? Mitchell?
I have a couple announcements that we're moving forward with our chief officers. Alan Pike has been promoted to assistant chief. Michael Alexander will be promoted to EMS division chief. And Dustin Straw will be promoted to fire training and special operations chiefs. So that's what to inform the council tonight. With the division chief badge.
Isn't he supposed to do a speech or something?
Yeah, he should.
Who's the guy standing next to you?
Assistant Chief Pike.
Must not have been here when you introduced him.
I don't know. Walked up, sir. So that's all I had to report tonight.
Okay, well, congratulations to all of those that were promoted and/or received leadership positions.
Thank
you.
you.
What's Michael's title? I'm sorry for the minutes. I
EMS
didn't-
Division Chief.
EMS. And Dustin's?
Fire training and special operations.
Thank you.
All right, Jenny.
Yes, I would like to schedule a work study. There's 5 Mondays in September for the budget. I'm looking at Monday, September 23rd or Monday, September 30th at 6 o'clock. Is there either day work better for you guys, or?
I can do either.
I can do either.
I prefer.
Okay,
Chris? Dennis? Either. 23rd it is.
23rd at 6 o'clock, and we'll meet in here.
Okay.
And then we'll have the public hearing for the budget on October 7th, and then adoption on October 21st.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you. Jim?
Let me think, no.
No. Dennis? Chris? I have one thing. I received a thank you note from Sherry Presley, who spoke before the council at our last meeting concerning some traffic and speeding. She says, "Thank you to the council for allowing me to speak at the most recent meeting. It was an honor and privilege to profess, protect, and propose in this town I love so much. I appreciate you taking my recommendations to initiate a traffic study, given the rapid growth. I know all of you are passionate about protecting our citizens, especially the children, and I count on you to ensure the safety of our citizens. I look forward to growth and progress while maintaining the charm we all love. Best, Sherry Presley." So, Sherry, thank you very much. We very rarely get thank you letters. Did something right. Other than that, I have nothing. Claim docket. Got a motion to approve the claim docket. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Claim docket's passed. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Good night.
Good night.
15 minutes.